from your local election headquarters.
Good evening. Thank you for choosing Ktab News, your local election headquarters tonight. I'm Brittany Paletz.
And I'm Bob Bartlett. Americans have cast their votes in the 2016 presidential election, but we still don't know the outcome. As of news time, the 45th president has not been named, as the race is just too close to call. As you can see at this time in the presidential race, these are national results, with Donald Trump leading 51% over Secretary Hillary Clinton with 49%, but still a lot of big states to be counted before we know who will be the next president.
Your local election headquarters team is covering national, state, and local races tonight. We'll check in with our reporters at the Democratic and Republican watch parties happening in Abilene. And we start in New York City, where both major parties, presidential candidates, are holding their election parties tonight.
Donald Trump is at the New York Hilton Midtown, and this is a live picture from inside the hotel where he is set to take the stage for his speech. But that'll be a while, because obviously it's too close to call and no time to make a speech right now. If he returns to the stage in the next half hour, we will join that in progress for you. And
just down the street from the Trump party, we're taking a live look now at the Hillary Clinton election watch party at the Jacob K. Javits Convention Center. If she takes the stage in the next half hour, of course, we will try to get back to New York to hear from Clinton. Meanwhile, Ktab's Stacey Wermel has been bringing us updates throughout the night from the Big Country Democratic Watch Party happening at the Mill Winery in Abilene. She joins us now live from there with reaction. Stacey?
Brittany, Trump may have won the state of Texas and currently leading in the electoral votes, but these Hillary Clinton supporters are still not going anywhere. They're in it for the long haul, waiting to see the rest of those numbers come in from those states that are just too close to call. And Bob and Brittany, the consensus throughout the whole entire night has been that they feel like they've already made some kind of victory in voting for electing the very first female president candidate for the Democratic Party. And there's still some people hanging out here. I think we're going to be here for the long haul, like I said earlier, just waiting for the rest of those numbers to come in. Reporting live at the Mill, I'm Stacey Wermel, Ktab News. Back to you all in the studio.
All right, thank you for your coverage tonight, Stacey. We appreciate it. Republican Jody Arrington is the projected winner for District 19, United States Representative. District 19 covers Abilene to Lubbock and the surrounding counties. Arrington was on the ticket against Libertarian Troy Bonner and Green Party's Mark Lawson, but Arrington has a large lead tonight. He's held a commanding lead all evening long and remains in the upper 80% range. You see right now with 87% of the vote over Bonner and Lawson. Ktab News spoke with Arrington tonight just prior to the election count and what this election means to him.
You know, I'm reminded that West Texas and the Big Country are so important to this United States. Whether it's the oil and gas fueling our economy, or it's our ag producers feeding and clothing the American people.
Some facts about your new congressman. Arrington was an advisor to President George W. Bush. He was responsible for helping assemble President Bush's leadership team in agriculture, water, and energy. Arrington later served as chief of staff to FDIC Chairman Don Powell. He's a graduate of Texas Tech University in Lubbock, and Arrington went to school at Plainview High School. He'll be sworn in at the start of the new year.
A congressman who represents the southern and eastern portions of the Big Country has been reelected. Mike Conaway defeated his Democratic challenger, Nicholas Landholt. This will be Conaway's 7th term serving District 11 in the House of Representatives. There you see 90% to 10%. U.S. Representative District 13, Mac Thornberry, defeats opponent Calvin DeWeese. There you take a look at the numbers on your screen, 91% to 6%. And this is not with all of the precincts reporting just yet. However, we are calling this race, and we are told that Jordan Chavez joins us now with Congressman Thornberry.
We're sitting here with Congressman Mac Thornberry. We're talking about his future plans or his plans going forward. So Congressman Thornberry, can you go ahead and give us an idea of what's on your agenda from this point moving on?
Well, national security is going to be at the center of what I focus on. I think it's the first job of the federal government. The world's a dangerous place, and we have a lot of rebuilding to do for our military. So we'll have a new commander-in-chief, but Congress has a key role to play, and we need to support our troops when we send them out on dangerous missions.
And moving forward, we will have a new commander-in-chief. How does that always work when working with somebody new in office?
Well, there'll be a whole new team at the Pentagon, and so we'll have to get acquainted and get used to it. But meanwhile, the threats don't stop and wait on us to get our act together. So we'll have to move on out.
All right, Congressman Thornberry, thank you. We are here in Amarillo. I'm Jordan Chavez from your local election headquarters. Back to you.
All right, Jordan, thank you very much. And taking a look at how tonight's vote impacts the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate. Of course, there are 435 seats in the House of Representatives. All 435 are at stake this election. There are 100 seats in the Senate. 34 seats are at stake this election. And CBS is projecting that Republicans will remain control of the House of Representatives, too soon to call the Senate as yet.
Now to the race for State Senator District 24. Dr. Don Buckingham replaces retiring Senator Troy Frazier in a district that stretches from western Travis County northwest into Taylor County. Now, there still are a lot of votes to be counted. However, taking a look at your screen, Don Buckingham with 73%, I believe that said. But here's a little bit about our new senator. Buckingham and her husband of 22 years live in Lakeway, Texas. That's in Travis County. She has 2 children who are enrolled at Lake Travis ISD, and she is an ophthalmologist and the owner of a small business called Eye Physicians of Austin. She was appointed to the State Board for Educators Certification by Governor Perry in 2013.
In another race involving the state legislature, State Representative District 71, Stan Lambert of Abilene defeats fellow Abilenian Pierce Lopachin, 81% for Lambert, and Lopachin with 19%, with all of the votes being counted. Abilenian Lambert has won his place in the Texas legislature. And
Lambert's friends have been with him watching the votes come in this evening at Cypress Street Station downtown, and so is Ktab's Ashley Gooden.
Bob and Brittany, that's right. I'm here at Cypress Street Station where Stan Lambert has learned that he is now the state representative for District 71. He did just give a thank you speech to his supporters, but I would like to know, what do you want to say to all the supporters that weren't here tonight?
Well, I just want to say thank you again for participating in this election, for going out and voting, for exercising their right to vote. And just to say thank you, that I look forward to working with all the constituents in all 3 of our counties that represent House District 71 and learning more about their issues, their concerns, what they would like to see happen in the next legislative session, and we'll go to work together to try to find solutions.
All right, and what are your biggest plans for the future when you get into office?
Well, I think we'll take a hard look at what some of the priorities are. It's going to be a tough budget year that we know already is going to face the next legislature with declining oil and gas prices. So we're already looking at some agencies having to cut back on their spending. So we'll be looking at priorities and making sure that some things that have been identified as needing help are going to be addressed.
Well, thank you one more time for joining me, and congratulations to you. Reporting at Cypress Street Station, I'm Ashley Gooden, Ktab News. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Ashley. And as you heard there, the Republicans in the big country have had some other victories tonight. Republican Wayne Christian has likely won this election for Texas Railroad Commissioner with 53% of the votes at this point in time, with 40% of the precincts reporting. His opponent, Grady Yarbrough, with 39% at this time. Voters in Taylor County made their voices heard on the Taylor County Expo Center bond proposition, passing the $55 million proposal.
The money will be used to make major upgrades to the Taylor County Expo Center. As you see, 72% of the voters of Taylor County voted for the proposition, 28% against. Here's a look at how the votes played out as KTAB's Kathleen Barkley joins us with reaction from General Manager Rochelle Johnson. Kathleen?
That's right. In local elections, we had the Taylor County Expo Center bond proposition, and that bond was approved by voters. Now, starting early in the night, those early votes started rolling in, and it held steady at 72%. And as precinct votes rolled in, that number still held steady with 72%. I have those results right here in my hand, and early voting was 71.64, and final votes came down to just 71.62, so voters definitely approved of this bond. And we spoke to Rochelle Johnson about what this bond means for taxpayers.
Tourism reduces our taxes by about $700 a year, keeps our taxes in line to the tune of about $700 a year. So an increase of $55 a year is not really too much to ask to continue the way of life that we have today, but also improve upon it.
Now again, this is the $55 million Expo bond, and it is going to improve the livestock facility, the concession stand, the elevators, as well as the Coliseum in the Expo Center. And again, this bond was approved tonight. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Kathleen, doing a great job for us this evening. Here is a look at the Callahan County alcohol proposition. So far, this is reflecting 75% and 75% for, 25% against. However, this is slow to come in, and so far this is only a reflection of early voting at this point in time.
And also in Callahan County, citizens in Bayard voted for the sale of mixed drinks in local restaurants, and that too is slow coming in. Only the early votes have been counted, and that is 70% for and 30% against right now, but there is a long way to go as they have to tally all of the other boxes. Things very slow in Callahan County counting tonight.
The city of Ranger also had alcohol on the ballot. The proposition is to allow liquor to be sold by the glass in bars and at restaurants. Now, it passes with more than 70% of the votes tonight. You see there 72% for and 28% against.
And the city of Blanket also had an alcohol proposition on the ballot, whether or not to allow the sale of beer and wine inside the city limits. And as you see, once again, for with a very large lead, 81% against 19%, and all of the votes have been counted, so the alcohol proposition for Blanket is passed. And we've also heard from Ktab Brownwood Bureau reporter Chelsea Followell, who is at the Republican headquarters in Brownwood, with an update. Chelsea?
Well, Bob and Brittany, the wait is almost over, and today is Election Day. I'm here at the Brownwood Republican headquarters watch party, and we will soon find out who will be the next president of the United States. Lots of people are gathering here. There's food and there's drinks. They have a TV set up, and they will be watching step by step on which state goes to who.
I've always been a Christian conservative, and the party, the belief of this party is what I believe. And it's important for me to represent my party and to be involved in my party and try to ensure that we get Christian conservatives elected to run this country.
Now, earlier today, I spoke to Larry Franks, the assistant administrator for the elections office here in Brownwood, and he told me that Brownwood took a record percent of voters in early voting with a number of 9,986 voters. Now, the city of Blanket voted for the liquor proposition, and it passed with 71% for and 29 against. Now, that is just early voting. As you can see, the anticipation here is high, and these voters are patiently waiting to see who will be the next president of the United States. In Brownwood, Chelsea Followell, Ktab News. Bob, Brittany, back to you.
All right, Chelsea, thank you for that report. Brown County had a record number of total voters this election, 68%. That's pretty cool.
And we do have a correction to pass along right quick. We had just made an announcement about the Haskell County Sheriff, but at this point in time, the results are not final, so we are still waiting for that to come in. And so far, it's been undetermined who the next sheriff in Haskell County will be, but we will bring you the update when that information comes into us. Ktab is your local election headquarters. For live results. Stay with us and BigCountryHomepage.com.
Still ahead on Ktab News at 10, several big country towns voted on alcohol propositions today, as we just